If there's one thing that watching Netflix's The King taught me, is that the only thing scarier than medieval battles are these haircuts. Yes, David Michôd's The King, starring Timothée Chalamet and King Ramses, is a beautifully shot and directed look at one of history's greatest warrior kings, England's King Henry V. Now you may be asking yourself, Think Story, why does this ending need to be explained?
You wonder why?
I mean, he fought some battles, won, what is there to know? Part of what makes the king fascinating is Henry's journey, how even though he had absolute power, the manipulation and pressure surrounding and shaping his decisions made it seem at times like he had none. And there's no better encapsulation of this than the final scene between him and William Chief Justice. We'll get to that in a bit. Following the victorious Battle of Agincourt in 1415, in which the English defeated Edward Cullen and his army of Twilight fans, Henry engaged in a months-long negotiation with King Charles VI of France in relinquishing control over the French kingdom. This led to Henry marrying Charles's daughter, Catherine of Valois. It's only when Henry talks to Catherine about the assassination attempt against him, the same assassination that spurred Henry to retaliate and take over France, that he learns the truth. The French never sent the assassin, someone within his own ranks did. But before we get to that, we need to understand where Henry started from.
Started from the bottom, now we're here.
In the beginning of the film, he's portrayed as a drunk womanizer, with no ambitions of taking over his father's throne. In fact, there's no evidence to suggest he was like this at all. His supposed riotous youth is most likely the result of Shakespeare, who portrayed him as such in his plays. But casting him like this makes for good character development, as we'll see Henry's character change throughout the course of the film. While in the movie he's seen as a drunk, it's his pragmatism and compassion in the face of war that sets him apart from his father, at least in the beginning. He so believes his father is wrong fighting the rebellious Hotspur, he puts his own life on the line to challenge him in one-on-one combat. Whoever wins decides the battle, saving countless lives. This selflessness is juxtaposed with Henry's brother Thomas. After Henry's victory against Hotspur, he says,
This field was mine. It was to mark my dominion.
Thomas doesn't care at all about the countless lives and blood that was to be shed. He only cares for his own glory. Henry, on the other hand, even knowing he won't be king, put his life on the line. It's when Henry becomes king, however, that things start to change. He's no longer a drunk womanizer, but on the same token, he's started to move slowly away from being that strong moral compass, and that selflessness he's had is starting to be manipulated by external events around him. The first test comes in the form of a ball, a supposed present from the Dauphin of France. It's a cruel joke suggesting the king to be a boy who still plays with toys, a gesture which would make other kings march off to battle to defend their honor. Not so with Henry, even though he is recommended to retaliate by his advisors. When this fails to provoke England to war, a new plot is devised. An assassination attempt is foiled, twisting Henry's arm to march on France, leading to their eventual victory at the Battle of Agincourt. During this time, Henry's compassion wanes. He orders Falstaff to kill the prisoners, which, when he refuses, almost ends up in killing his closest friend and confidant.
I will disembowel you right here with mine own hand.
As his grip on power crumbles, so too does that young, compassionate king-to-be we saw in the beginning. Which leads us to Henry's conversation. One may even liken it to an interrogation of his future wife, Catherine of Valois. He asks her about the assassination attempt, and she iterates that neither his father nor his brother were the ones to order it. In fact, she was in the room when her father received the message accusing him of the plot, seeing his reaction of laughter at the farcical claim. Henry believes her to be true, therefore making the person behind the plot someone within his inner circle. He interrogates Lord Chief Justice William, asking him how much land he sought to gain if England were to conquer France, a number he does not know off the top of his head. Henry presses further, asking him how he came about knowing of this assassination plot, but his lies are easily seen through. The Chief Justice confesses his part in the plot, saying that it was for the king's own good.
I have given you what you wanted, boy! Have I not?
All Henry wanted was peace, but it came at the cost of thousands of lives, not to mention Henry killing his own cousin who he thought involved in the assassination plot.
This is how peace is forged. It is forged
in victory.
But victory at the cost of war is never what Henry wanted. His entire conquest in France was a manipulation. Henry had unwillingly become what he hated most, his father who lusted for conquest. When William gets on his knees to profess Henry's greatness, he's brutally stabbed and killed. He is shown no compassion. This is all done before the eyes of a child, a symbol of innocence. Henry then visits Catherine asking for only one thing from her, that she always speaks to him clear and true. The betrayal of the Chief Justice, someone who is supposed to speak clear and true, has made Henry wary. If he's going to embark in marriage with her, he needs her to promise this. He longs for truth and clarity, which Catherine says she will give him. It is said that both Catherine and Henry loved each other in real life. However, there's no evidence to support that Henry murdered his Chief Justice after finding out his involvement in an assassination plot. That's the art of adapting a real historical character into a film adaptation. You have to stretch facts in order to create captivating character arcs and structural plots. While the ending may not be entirely accurate, the movie isn't so much about its ending, but Henry's journey as a character, touching on themes of what it means to be strong and what it means to be a king. Henry would go on to rule until 1422, roughly 7 years after the Battle of Agincourt, paving the way for more internal struggle within England and the eventual victory of the 100 Years' War by France. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please knight me by giving it a like and subscribing. I have more videos coming out every week. You can also follow me on Twitter at ThinkStoryYT. Until next time, remember, Daddy loves you very much.